sticking with that one. It's good.
It's, you know what? If it works, it works. That's great.
It took us about a year to get there, but we have an
Uh,
intro.
that's fine. Yeah. To our faithful viewers, I suppose we need to start with an acknowledgement and an apology because life has just been fun. And we've been falling behind on things, but that's okay. We're going to keep up with what we can. And certain things, now that they're out of the way, woof. Although, fun fact, more stuff happened. Oh, gosh. It's life, right? It's so wild.
Yeah.
The other day, because we were talking about incorporating myself in the landscaping business, and so my dad said, "Oh, I can help you with that," and he came down to help me, and so we did the name search, which is what you have to do first.
Yep.
You have to have a name search report, and so I did that, and I paid the extra for the 2 hour rush because
Because
my
you're
dad
doing
was
this thing.
visiting. He drove all the way out here. Yeah, I should have done it earlier in the week. I didn't. That was dumb. Doesn't matter. The 2 hour rush, uh, it didn't work, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on? It's been a couple hours, and I need the answers." No answer, and I'm like, "Okay." So I started to do some digging. The 2 hour rush specifies business hours. And I was like, there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
freaking way. There is no way. This is a virtual platform with an AI search engine. There is no way that this name search is 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But then, even then, who's 9 to 5? It's a national service that also offers it in other countries. Like there is no way that, anyways,
Mm.
it turns out, yeah, they're 9 to 7, Monday to Friday, Eastern Standard Time. And I was like, hey, this is very predatory. You didn't explain that very well. Um, and obviously I didn't get it within the 2 hours, but also, you prompted this service without telling me. I need to get a refund. And they're like, hey, it's very clear on our website. And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm going to get to this. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? It's now 1 o'clock on Monday, and you still haven't sent it to me. So please, it's now been over 2 hours. So come on. Anyways, they gave me a refund, and I got the name search results back. And this is where it gets funny. This is where it gets funny. There already is a, a couple of businesses with the name in Ontario. One in particular that is the Garden Guy Inc.
Mm.
So it was incorporated and registered in 2010. And it has been sitting idle for 2000 since 2010, but is still actively registered. Somebody registered this freaking corporation and has done nothing with it, but they keep annually re-registering because apparently
Mm.
for a corporation you have to do that every year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so somebody is just sitting on it. I can't use that name if I wanted to incorporate. Spoiler alert, we decided not to do that. But I can't use that name. And there's no way for me to contact that person to buy that name
Because they don't have a
because
website or anything.
they don't exist. I would have to go through another, like legally speaking, if you incorporate, they have to have public information. So I'd have to go through all of that, request information, all that to find out who this person is. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Decided not to do that. However, I did see my business and the status was expired. It had my business number and everything. And I was like, pardon me? Pardon me? Yeah, February was my 5 year business anniversary. I'm like, really? Huh. But also, I didn't get any sort of warning or notification. Allegedly, they're supposed to notify you 6 months prior so that you can re-register and keep the same name and everything, and the same business number and all that.
Mm.
I don't know if somehow I missed it or if it got lost in translation. But also, it turns out their system changed this year,
Oh,
and they now have a new business system. But 6 months ago, where would I have gotten that information? Regardless, it expired. I had to register a new business. It's the same name.
right. I didn't know they expired if you're
A
filing
sole
your
proprietor.
HST and everything.
So so there's the business license, which is your business identification number. And then there's your CRA, your tax information. If you're a sole proprietorship, it expires every 5 years. And if you're incorporated, it expires every year. You have to refile every year.
Yeah, I
But if you
used to
do it
do
ahead
that
of,
for the company I worked for.
oh, there you go. There were a couple other issues. Like it said, not only was it expired, but it also said expired limited partnership, not sole proprietorship, which was interesting. I'm like, why? Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
Mm-hmm.
isn't administration fun? When all you
Yeah.
want to do is play with plants.
I do, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to see mine? My
Your
plants?
plants? Oh, okay, yeah.
Not my business. Well, you're in my business corner, I guess. So, whew.
Hello.
Um, but my plants.
Oh, they look like they're wow, nice.
They're a little washed
You have
out
so
under
much
the
more
lights,
light
but
on them than I do. That's
oh,
great though.
I am determined not to have spindly tomatoes.
Nice. I started some of mine as well. The produce most no, not produce. Annual flowers, some produce, and then I actually decided because we talked about this at the Ask a Master Gardener section. You can do winter sowing for a lot of your vegetables
Yeah.
like tomatoes because obviously you toss a tomato in the compost and it comes back the next year from the seeds.
Hmm.
I thought, okay, so I did that. I have tomatoes, brown cherries, cucumbers, and something else I'm forgetting. But I thought, all right, well, we'll give it a shot. I
Yeah, might as
I'm
well.
this year I am determined to dump all of my seeds and start over, start harvesting again,
Hmm.
I I have to,
Fair.
oh yeah.
My seeds are now living in a giant Rubbermaid, and it's rather excessive. Like it doesn't need to be the container that big. It's just that I put my smaller cardboard box inside it to keep the mice out. But I
Oh
really
yeah.
feel like my collection has spiraled.
Yeah. Yeah. I might just get like one tote bin that has like a locking lid, and just limit myself to that. But we know that's not going to happen. As, because I have clients who have a lot of plants, and I'm like, if I'm cutting them down anyways at their request, like
Yeah.
this year, the garbage bin full of cone flowers, like why not? I still have to go through that, and I think I'm getting to the point where I can just go dump a bucket of seeds somewhere and see what grows.
My fingers were so chewed up after processing those seeds. I forget which one it was that just
It
had
was. Go ahead. Sorry.
just the really stabby little um, seeds.
So yeah, that's definitely the cone flower. Though, but the beauty is if you hold it by the base and you start at the top and just strip it downwards, they all come off. But
Yeah,
you're right, you're stabbing into it. So like I
yeah.
feel like
And
there's probably a thing you could do. Sorry, go ahead.
I ended up with the pads of my fingers for days full of little bits of them and like bumps forming over where they were.
Okay, so maybe can we get like a full finger set of thimbles? Is that a thing?
I mean, we if you do the old-fashioned thimble, which was made of leather, then you could in fact reinvent gloves.
Yes. Well, I have those. I have the Wolverine garden gloves. They came with I can't remember what I got. It was like a trowel or something. It was like
Hmm.
one of my things. And as a fun little added gift, they added rubber gardening gloves. And the left hand has those Wolverine talons at the end of the fingers. And I'm like, cool.
Nice. Yeah,
But yeah,
I might
I don't know.
just try gloves again to if I was gonna process those again.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
I
I
could have
had
thought of
them and
it.
you're like, "Hey, can I have seeds?" And I'm like, "You gotta you
Yeah.
gotta strip them." Sorry.
No, it's all good. And they were the most popular at the CD Saturday because people knew what they were.
Yeah.
I had to keep
Yeah.
open on my phone a picture of Ligularia and a picture of cut plant because people were like, what the heck are these?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I actually had somebody coming around asking specifically for cup plant. And I was like,
Hmm.
hell yeah, I got you covered. I am the only one here with cup plant. Yes. Um, and then I had some people who are just so, I don't want to say nitpicky, but like, these are all free seeds. You can tone down the attitude. I had some that were just like because I had my big bin of mixed, and I'm like, it's a bunch of
Yeah.
these. Here's a full list of all the different plants it could be. I don't know what you got. I just grabbed a pinch. Oh well, how
Yeah.
many of each? I'm like, I don't know. Well, how old are they? A year. What's the germination rate? Okay,
I'm not a
yeah.
business.
Take them or leave them. This is a native wildflower mix. You get what you get.
Yeah.
That's anyways. A lot of people were fascinated by the terrariums, but not a lot of people. Ooh, hello. Were interested in buying. But a lot of people were interested in workshops. So I'm like, you know what? I can do the same process. Let them do the work, and they can buy them. So
Yeah.
that's yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Speaking of workshops, guess what
Mm,
I am going to be doing next this month?
this month.
I am going to a 3 weekend willow basket weaving course,
Willow basket weaving. Interesting.
which
I have.
I have figured out how to do rudimentary baskets, but
Yeah.
I would love to be taught and do a better
Yes.
job.
Yeah. So I presume that this over the next 3 weeks, so 3 sessions, three
Three
weekends.
sessions, yeah, three
Okay.
Saturdays.
I assume they must have some sort of a willow cultivation area where they're getting
Yeah, I
their.
believe the first day we're harvesting, but I'm
Ooh.
not actually positive about that.
I have a question. If it
Hmm.
is not terribly uncomfortable to ask, is it possible to ask for cuttings for propagation purposes, not for basket purposes? If they're willing to. It is feel the
I'll
vibe.
find
Feel the
out.
room. Yeah. I mean, I've got lots right now. They haven't woken up yet, which is why I'm curious to hear about your harvesting at this time, because that I
Yeah,
suppose would be last year's, 3 feet of growth or something, or however fast they grow. Um,
that's a good
Interesting.
point.
I want to do,
Yeah,
those. Sorry, go ahead.
I could be wrong that we're doing harvesting ourselves. They could be being brought in by the instructor from farther.
It's quite possible. I'm a little skeptical at this time of year, but I don't know the process. So
Yeah.
it's quite possible that they are harvesting now, but I do know somebody that does basket weaving. They harvest in May. Um,
Oh,
so maybe.
uh, now that you mention it, if we do harvest, those won't be what we're using because they have to dry for months.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's why I'm like that's why I'm a little bit
yeah.
unless they
I could
harvested in the
see
fall
them.
and then dried over the winter.
I could see them having us do the full process to learn,
Yep.
but
Yep.
also I don't think the instructor is local, so there's a good chance that that's just not practical.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
unless they know of a place that we can gather.
You know what? Maybe it's not even willows. Like it could be
No,
wild
it is
harvesting
willows.
of yeah, it could be wild harvesting of willows and they could have a supply and it could be fresh willows because they'd be a little bit more malleable at that point.
Yeah.
But there's also a chance of it living and surviving and rotting and so like
Um,
and
I've done
shrinking
it.
is yeah.
Yeah, shrinking, yes. Rotting, not unless you put it somewhere really damp.
Would you? So these are fresh cut willow sprigs, for lack of a better word. Are you stripping them like of bark, or would you just
No,
fold them as is? Yeah.
you
Okay.
just fold them as is. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay. This year, I'm very interested in expanding in my living architecture thing because I don't. A lot of the willow stakes that I put up last year seem to have survived winter and dormancy, and I have a number of other different plants, dogwoods and stuff that are just sitting in a pot that they look great. The
Mm.
red twigs in one big clump. It looks like a shrub, but I'm like, nah, it's just sitting in a pot. But what I'm interested in doing, you know, those weaved paths, kind of like a basket weave, but you put stakes in the ground and then you weave the branches in between.
Yeah.
I was thinking there's no reason why I can't do that with the willow stakes that I have put in the ground.
Mm.
Or something very similar. Why not put more stakes in intentionally and weave it to build a sort of fence structure? But then I thought, I think I'm going to make an actual fence structure and then have that as like a path border, like an edge. It doesn't have to weave. I don't know why I'm doing this. But yeah, well, I mean, I guess it weaves. Just, it doesn't have to be, yeah. Anyways, yeah, because this year in the garden, I decided I really want to delineate my garden space from, you know, the rest of the property. So and with strong trepidation from Eva, from a lot of hesitation, she has agreed to let me build a fence my way as long as it looks good. And that way I can fence in the permaculture area.
Hmm.
So you know the northwest side of my building, unfortunately, it's not the best side. It is what it. I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But since there's so much to do, and I don't want to start building that with and then getting in the way of what I really should do, which is you know dig a new trench between me and that neighbor. So I'm
Mm.
probably gonna have to do that all at once. I'm gonna get my locates done, rent a mini excavator because it can get through over there, dig a new trench, expand my drainage lines to go all the way out there. Um, and that way I don't have to think about the neighbor shenanigans.
Right.
And then I can build a fence. And I can put a sign. And I can put a sign on that fence saying no snow dumping.
Mm.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh man.
Did you get a lot of thaw this week?
Yes and no. So yes, a lot of thaw. Mostly around I find it fascinating to watch how the snow melts. So like around structures that absorb some of the sunlight and heat and then passively radiate it outward. So like trees around the building, around or any building or any structure, any planter that was left outside, anything like that that captures a little bit of extra sunlight and then radiates
Hmm.
that heat out, and that you've got that bowl of snow melt. Anywhere where there were footprints, because it's been heavily walked on, we're closer to the ground, and the ground starts to radiate a little bit more, which is amazing. Around the compost areas where there is active decomposition, which
Yeah.
is fun to watch. You know, it's not melting where the neighbor blew, and not to be petty. It's just like it's fascinating. You can see how they
It's the
blew.
northwest side.
It is not only the northwest side, yes, but it's also where the dirt is on top of the snow
Oh,
actually
yeah.
prevents the snow from melting, which
Yeah.
is weird. It provides that sort of shelter insulation layer. And so
Yeah.
all around it is melting, but you can see exactly where they projectiled this snow in these little and I'm like, it's annoying and it looks bad.
Maybe you can take your hoe out and scrape some of the dirt off.
Maybe. I have been walking around there a little bit more frequently, so any eagle-eyed stalkers would see footprints in the area, and it's just because I'm trying to make sure that no debris clogs the thing still. But I imagine where I'm walking is also helping it melt a little bit.
Yeah.
I also had this weird. I had a collection of sunflower seeds, and I'm like, I'm not gonna grow this many sunflowers. This is nuts. I have so many, and I harvested from one sunflower locally, and then I had a bunch of packages of very specific varieties from I don't know how old they were. So the big bulk one that was locally grown, it was a whole bag full of sunflower seeds. What am I gonna do with that? I decided to test the contrast of growing sunflowers with rhubarb.
Hmm.
So rhubarb having those big, thick stolons, those clumping tubers, it grows its foliage. You harvest for the stem, and then in the summer you're not really supposed to be harvesting, but
Yeah.
nothing else really grows in it. I thought if I had something that poked up above the foliage before it got too broad, and then in the summer I had something interesting. But then there'd be the sorry, go ahead. What are you thinking?
Will it get there before the leaves get broad? Because they're early rhubarb.
Exactly, exactly. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So here's the other thing. It's covered in 3 feet of snow.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I sprinkled them because they're in the raised square beds, like a foot tall, not raised tremendously. I scooped away a lot of the snow and then I sprinkled them evenly across the surface. And then they got some of the sunlight and radiated that heat and melted little holes in the snow. And I'm like,
Delightful.
am I winter sowing sunflower seeds? Maybe. Is it going to work? Probably not. We'll see. I'm excited.
That is a technique that people recommend for some plants, is just scattering the seeds on the snow. You do risk a lot of wildlife intervention, but
You know what? Yeah. So locally this winter, we've had at least two family of deer. I have seen like many times, but simultaneously at least 9 deer in the same spot congregating. So I'm going to say at least two families, but every now and again they scatter because they get interrupted with traffic or pedestrians or whatever, and they go off in different directions. But they seem to regroup, and they live in town because certain people keep feeding them, and so and so they have a route now. I have noticed they do come through. They've eaten the tips of almost everything. From lilacs to spruce trees to my golden weeping willows. They've eaten almost all of the
oh,
tips, which is fine to me because it's like a weird natural way of pruning. Because now they're going to be denser.
I guess, but I hope you still get lilac flowers.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're because the lilacs against the house, unfortunately. There's no way for it to get all of the lilacs, but they are keeping the base kind of trimmed
Right.
up, which is interesting. But where was it going with this? They you can see their footprints. They haven't gone towards the sunflower seeds, nor have any squirrels or bunnies. And I was like, interesting. They don't care about the sunflowers. They just want the tips of branches right now is what they're desperately looking for. All those super nutrient dense buds.
Yeah, it's probably nutrients they haven't had all winter, some of them.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder, should we be doing that? should should we be eating buds? Like I feel
Oh,
like yeah, right? I feel
probably.
like there is a density of nutrients that I feel like we're not tapping into as
Yeah.
a species.
Um, spruce tips we could be gathering.
Yep, yep. We are so close. We're at that point where it's like, do we do it? If we do it now, is it premature? For a lot
Mm-hmm.
of things. So like, I went out and cut some. I pruned a little bit of my plum tree. Why? Because I'm going to be doing a propagation class in 3 weeks, and I'm hoping that they'll have roots by then. But I
Wow.
know it's a little bit too early.
Meh. I mean, if the snow were gone, I would say it's time. So
Yeah,
you're fine.
but you know what? I also had I had a realization that I did a number of projects, and I took like last year and the year before that and whatever, and I took a lot of photos and some videos. I just need to organize them properly because I'm going to use those products, those experiments as justification for potential sponsorships. So there's a couple products that I'm looking at, and I have a budget of $0 this year. That I'm like, hey, Lee Valley, how would you feel about giving me one of these? You know, I
Yeah.
will. How would you feel? Here's where I'm at. Here's what I can do with it. Stuff like that. It's yeah. Hmm. With everything going on with the business, with life, with the rising cost of everything, and not to mention, I'll be honest. In 5 years, I have made some mistakes with the business, but like I've also been screwed over. And, uh, my accountant friend was like, "Hey, listen, good news is you're in the 95th percentile." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Because almost everyone fails in the first year or two or three.
Hmm.
All of the problems you have, everyone has had." Oh, great, thanks. Knuckle down and dig myself out of a hole. I don't know how you dig out, but yeah, um, keep digging. Or give up, and I can't give up. This. I won't go into details right now because we're still doing this pre-show, but um, this podcast is very important, and I'm gonna be. I want to do more. I want to do more. That's all.
I'm on
I'm
board.
gonna leave it at that. Okay, great,
All right.
because we're at 9:46. I gotta run and give some extra spare socks and stuff to Delilah at her school. It's a
Oh.
weekday. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will be back soon. Thank you so much for joining us, pre-show viewers. If you're watching this presently or in the future, thank you. I really appreciate it. Don't mind my hermit Gengar getup. My basement is still cold. Um, holy cow, it's necessary. I don't have a fun outro like Aaron does. Do you have? Wait, do you have one, or do I improvise it every time?
I can't remember if
I
I
know. I'm
came up
so
with
sorry.
an
It's
outro.
been a while. I'm so sorry.
This has been a pre show. Now it's time for the show. But you won't see that for a while because we have to edit it. Bye.
That, and we got another one coming up pretty soon. Uh,
Yeah.
it's very enlightening.
Speaking of
Enlightening.
digging yourself out of holes,
That was good. That was good. All right, we'll catch you next time, viewers, and don't forget to go. Yeah, just subscribe to all the things. You can stay in touch with us. Bye.
I